Hello everybody, Tim Barch here, McArthur Ford, Salina, Kansas. Let me adjust my volume just a little bit. Might be a little high. So we are here. It is December 28th. So hopefully everybody had a great Christmas and happy holidays. Got the chance to see some loved ones and got some awesome presents. If you did get exchange presents. So hopefully everybody had a great holiday. Everybody can hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. And which reminds me, don't forget, I'll do all the introductions. Of course, I want to welcome in all the different people that are viewing today. I love all the presence here. And don't forget, I want to thank the members for being here as well. Mark and Ridgeview and John. I saw some others in there, Kim, Bob. So thank you all for joining us this week. And also don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit the red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed. Hit the notification bell as well. That way you can get notified the next time we have another video uploaded to the YouTube channel. There we go. Smash that button there. And that way you can go ahead and join there. So, don't forget as well, don't forget to smash that like button too, so we can get all those likes up there and get this up there. So looks like my audio is doing good. Got a new mic this week. I do like that I can adjust my volume for the most part right here on the mic. So that way if it's a little low, I can just raise it up real quickly using this. So make sure that's all working good. So we're really happy to be here with you this week. And we are going to, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk a little bit about the pricing. There was a mid-year pricing that happened on the F-150, the Maverick, and the Ranger. We'll talk about that at 7:30 my time. So in about 30 minutes here, we'll get into that. But before that, we'll jump into some other things and kind of talk about, answer some of your questions and everything while we're doing that. So don't forget, if you're not a member, if you want to become a member, you can hit that join button and become a member. I did a video last week and try to maybe do a weekly video, just a nice little walk around the lot so you can see what kind of different vehicles we have here. Especially like a lot of Mavericks. That video is about 20 minutes long, and a lot of Mavericks on the lot. So hopefully you guys the members enjoyed that video. But you can hit that join button, learn a little bit more about it, and join if you'd like to. And I know that Jack, I need to get your notebook out to you, so I'll get that to you as well. So. Also, don't forget, we are going to be, this is also live on a podcast. So we are casting out on podcast. Usually goes live about 9 p.m., a couple hours after we go live here on the different podcast platforms. So if you have one of those, if you don't have one, you can always go to our website, McArthur.com/FordVideoGuy, and you can check out all of our streams right there as well. And then, of course, you can find them on a lot of other different streaming platforms. So we're going to see it that way. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can also watch it live on YouTube, and so you can see my pretty little face if you want to. So you can always check us out there, and that is youtube.com/McArthur. And always you can check out any of our past live streams. We do have a playlist for all these live streams as well. Check those out too. So got all that out of the way. Videos from last week, didn't do a lot of videos because of being closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I have some recorded that I'm working on, so hopefully end of this week, hopefully this weekend, we'll have some videos on. I did a test drive video on the hybrid before it was sent out for delivery, and then also I did a video last night on a first edition that was shipped out today as well. So I want to thank those people for allowing me to use their vehicles. So Brandon, for the hybrid video, thank you very much for allowing me to do that. Didn't put too many miles on it, just took a little round trip here, and then also Manny let me do a video on the first edition that came in, so he got that one sent out to him as well. So I wanted to thank both of them. So some of those couple different videos. Also, we do have, I did some other how-to videos on my Bronco that hopefully whenever I get a chance, we'll get to those and get those edited on the Ford Video Guy YouTube channel. You can check those links down in the description if you want to learn more about those, that channel there, my personal channel. So let's talk about scheduling this week. Not much to talk about. There isn't any. So no scheduling for this week. I always like to cover it on a weekly basis because of the holidays. There won't be any scheduling this week. So next week, January, let me look at my dates here. Next week, January, I think 6th, is actually the last week of November December's scheduling allocation. So if you have are there any dealers out there that have Maverick or Bronco allocations, you could get some of those scheduled. Kind of look and see what we have for those. We don't have too many. We do have 7 Bronco Sport allocations not used yet, so maybe next week we'll get those scheduled. We do have 2 Edge allocations. We have 2 Expedition allocations, 9 Explorer allocations, and 49 F-150 allocations. So we're hoping those get scheduled next week here at Lawn McArthur. But if your dealership has any Maverick or any other model allocations, they could get scheduled next week as part of November, December's allocations. And we're supposed to find out probably next week what our allocations are for Maverick and the other models. Here shortly, probably next week, we'll find out more information about that, so you have a good idea kind of what our allocations are for that. So we'll really hoping for a nice big number for that, and a lot of hybrids hopefully get scheduled. And so the week of the 13th, Thursday the 13th, is the first week for January allocations for you to see that. So if you have a dealership that's used all our allocations, like if you have an order with Lawn McArthur, no Mavericks will be scheduled next Thursday because we've used all of our allocations. But if we have more for January, the 13th is that day you want to be looking for in your email box there. So kind of want to let you know about that. Also this week, didn't see any order guide updates. I didn't have a chance to go through those 2 from last week and kind of examine and see what's different about them. Sometimes it's just a wording on some things, but didn't see anything this week. And that's pretty typical. Ford Corporate usually is on vacation between Christmas and New Year's anyway, so I didn't expect too much there. And then also other news, some Ford news. There is an article, and I'm actually going to bring that article up if I do this correctly. So see if that comes up right. There we go. So there is an article on Autoweek, and I'll actually put this link in the description at the end of the live stream. So if you want to see it, we're actually going to go through it together because it's just a couple pictures and some paragraphs there on some vehicles. So it says the Ford F-150 Lightning and 5 other game-changing cars we saw this year. So it says the times are changing, and 2021 might have been a big year. So that's showing the F-150 Lightning right there. Easy way to write off 2021 as being a really down year in a lot of respects. That said, a lot that happened that made the year genuinely exciting, from cool products hitting the streets to automakers announcing cool vehicles coming down the pipe. So check these out. So we do have the F-150 Lightning is one, they said. Of course, while Ford wasn't the first to show off an electric pickup, it might be the most important. Ford's battery electric F-150 revived the Lightning nameplate formerly reserved for the top dog hot rod model to apply to the new electric powertrain. While the F-150 Lightning is set to make its way to customers next year, the debut might have helped sway some into thinking about electric vehicles, which we saw in 200,000 reservations for the F-150 Lightning. Next one, if I can get my mouse to work. There we go. And then this one here I hadn't seen, the Lucid Air. Lucid Air might not sound like much, but its 520-mile range makes it the battery-powered vehicle to beat. And its 1,111 horsepower could see it dressing up the walls the next generation for car enthusiasts. So that's a lot of power there. And behind that, so we're seeing that with a lot of electric vehicles. So next one is the GMC Hummer EV. So first really SUV that's a fully electric here. Ford wasn't the only major automaker that was working on a battery electric vehicle. The reborn Hummer now lives under the GMC banner and moves by way of electric motors. So that's pretty cool. And then the next one is the Rivian, the R1T, getting a lot of good reviews out there, I think. So there seems to be a trend of the battery electric vehicles, and more specifically pickup trucks. So a lot of trucks coming out. So that one's also one that was debuted and such. So, and then we have the Ford Maverick. Ford Maverick 21 wasn't only about electric vehicles. The Ford Maverick also made waves by reviving the compact pickup truck in the United States. So that's, of course, you guys know all about the Maverick, but there you go. So that one's out there. And then we do have the Aston Martin Valkyrie. So that's a pretty cool looking. That's pretty cool looking. So a next generation of hypercars, and could be one of the latest machines that celebrate the internal combustion engine. So, so anyway, there's a cool little article if you want to read through. I didn't read all of the paragraphs, but you can read more about each one of those underneath each one if you want to. You can read more about the hybrid and the Maverick and such in that article. So I'll link that at the when I'm through here. I didn't put that in the link yet, but I'll check. I'll do that when we get done there. So anyway, so we have that one, that article. So I want to talk about that. Some other things I wanted to talk about is something that some questions that came about last week. I wanted to kind of answer those. And one of them was for those of you who have orders with us here at McArthur. We talked about taking off some of those accessories and having us add it for you, and the aftermarket will install most of those. So I did get with them this week and kind of confirm that. And Aftermarket does free installs on their tonneau covers, the spray and liners, and the window tint. That's all done by the Aftermarket team, and so of course, they handle free install on those. All the other ones though have to be installed by service. So your mud flaps and some of those other things, service installs it, and service was not throwing those in for free, so they will charge for those. So just keep that in mind. If you have those put on, there will be a charge for that. Now they did say unless there's you have multiple installs. So if you have a bed cover and you have maybe mud flaps, then they'll cover the install fee on that, because then they can get the service for one install. Also, just to keep that in mind, so service does installs on most other things, and then Aftermarket does the install on tonneau covers, tent, liners, and so they'll cover install fee on those. So just want to preface that for anybody else that has one on order with us. Also, a couple questions that came about. Well, another question came back last week about recall. Can you do the paperwork and go ahead and get that paperwork done before the recall is done? And the answer is no. So when you go to and claim those incentives and put that deal to Ford requires you to have the recall done and completed through service before you can go ahead and do the paperwork. So for those of you that maybe are wanting to get a Maverick and there is that recall out there, and while yours is in transit, you cannot do paperwork until the vehicle has a recall done and it's completed. So did get that confirmation. And then also another question somebody asked last week, or they asked me after the live stream. They says, "Is this something you could maybe touch on at your on the live stream?" And they asked, "What do you do if a dealer marks up the price after Maverick comes in?" So that is a great question. I would say, hopefully you have some sort of sheet that kind of locked in that price, for you, so that way what that price is. So the dealership should be honoring that and showing you that. Hopefully you did find out what your dealer fees are, because that's where dealerships sometimes are getting people. But if it happens, I would say probably the best thing for you to do is call Ford. So call Ford customer service and complain there. That would probably be the best thing for you to do, is call them so that they can maybe work with the dealership to get you the price that they originally said that they were going to honor for you. So, but to be honest, if they do raise the price, there's not much else other than that you could do to be able to do that. So, I recommended to them, I told them, maybe, send a review or something. Sometimes that gets their notice. You send in a negative review or something like that. But that would probably be the best thing that I could think of for them to do. All right, so I do have some other questions I noticed up here. Zenda said, "I checked with my dealership about 3 weeks ago and was supposed to be a priority 2, and still have heard nothing on the Maverick Hybrid XLT 360 Area 51 order confirmed 7/29. Yep, there are a lot of orders still from July that have not been scheduled, and a lot of those orders are put into priority 2. Doesn't mean that they're going to get pulled necessarily that next week or the week after. Again, we have a bunch in priority 2 right now. I've noticed what the region is doing, and at least the Kansas City region is doing, is they're putting a lot of their orders from June, July in priority 2. They're pushing those ones because they want the factories to kind of look at those first and try to pull those first if they're able to. And so the region's doing everything they can to try to push those early orders from June, July to the factory to get those scheduled. But it doesn't mean that they have to. So that could be sometimes in priority 2 for quite a while before those get scheduled out. And especially if depends on, they're going to push those orders there, but if the dealership doesn't have allocations, there's not much you can do. We don't have any allocations, but we still have a bunch of orders in priority 2 that when we get some allocations, then maybe they can get scheduled, and the factory will look at those in that realm. So hopefully that helps out and answers that question. But so good luck to you. Hopefully next week you might get scheduled if your dealership has open allocations, or you have some allocations left, I should say. Any other questions there? Okay, Richie, I really enjoy the members only walk around the lot with all the Mavericks you have. So we'll try to do that. I'll try to do that Friday before on Christmas on New Year's Eve. I'll hopefully get that done there. So what is your guess at why builds are staying in the in production status for so long on the Mavericks? Mine is currently in production since 12/10, and I know some longer. There's probably that recall. There's a couple different recalls, I think, and so it's probably the recall or waiting on chips. One of those two reasons is what I would probably imagine. So usually now, and keep in mind when something says it's in production, if you look at your build week, because you usually once your vehicle is scheduled and like the week before you get an email that says your vehicle is in production, it doesn't mean that it's actually being produced at that time. I mean, in production status can encompass a lot of things. It can be that your window stickers being looked at or being produced, and it's being that order is being sent to the factory so that the next week it can be built, and so sometimes it'll stay in production that entire week. Sometimes if once it's been built and it needs a spray and liner or needs a bed cover or needs accessories put on, then they're sent to other places, and that still stays in that in production status. So when it goes through to and getting those other accessories put on, and if it's waiting on maybe a recall or it's waiting on a chip or something like that, it can stay in that production status until it's actually shipped out, and then it transfers over into an in transit status. So hopefully that helps out. So, and hopefully it gets worked out real soon. We have somebody here that has a Bronco that's been sitting in production actually since July. Hopefully yours doesn't wait that long, but his was waiting because it was one of the Broncos that needed the hard tops replaced, and it was sitting on Dirt Mountain for so long. But then even at that point, it was shipped out about 2 months ago, and it's been sitting in Kansas City for about a month because it does have a recall as well. So there's a side airbag recall on his, plus a windshield was damaged in transport to Kansas City, so they had to replace the windshield as well, as what we found out. And how you find out that information, we actually reached out to our zone, or not our zone, but our region, the KC region rep, and he was able to look into that for us, just because, sometimes, as a bigger dealership, there is some advantage to that, because since we have so many orders, sometimes we can call in a favor and say, hey, can you check into this one for us? Can you look and see what's going on with this one? And since it was an employee's one, he did look that up, but not all dealers, can get them to do that. It's always, they can always ask, and they can look into that. So if they can, so. We actually had an order that was submitted that we didn't make the last changes before it got scheduled and got scheduled for production, and it was our fault. And so we reached out, and they actually made the changes on the order. I was actually able to change the color on my Expedition 2 days after it got scheduled. So just really depends. A lot of times they tell you not to do that, but you can call in favor sometimes, and you can get some things done that way. Okay, Roman said, McArthur, will a signed order form lock the price so dealer doesn't upcharge price? It is supposed to, that the signed buyer's order is supposed to be to lock that in. We're going to talk a little bit about how that could change here real shortly with our topic of the hour here, and just a little bit in about 10 minutes. But otherwise, yes, it should. Especially dealer fees and such, those should be on there and locked in. I know on some of our early orders on our order sheets, they went out without the fee amount on ours. We just said plus fee, and I'm like, we need to put our $2.99 fee on there so people can know that that's what it's going to be, and that's not going to change, so that when they come back to do that, they can hand that sheet over and say, this is the price that you said it was going to be, and this is the fee you said it's going to be. So you can, it's not legal and binding. So I don't know if you tried to sue or something, if that would actually work, but throwing those words around does scare dealers enough that you could probably get something done that way. All right. Matt said, oh yeah, check your mods. Okay. Chris said, Tim, can you do a video showing under the Maverick Hybrid? That would be a good idea. I didn't think about that. We would actually have to put it up on a lift probably to be able to do that. I can try to get the camera under there, but it's pretty low to the ground. It's hard to get underneath there, but I could probably do that, especially if you want to see what the battery looks like and such underneath. That would be a good video to do. Now, don't forget, if you're if you need any questions, if you have any questions for me, make sure you put that at Law McArthur in there. I'd really appreciate it. Be able to do that. Oh, by the way, this week I still have not figured out how to get the chat on the video for those that are watching this on a replay, so I apologize for that. You're probably just gonna have to pull up that chat, but because of that, I do have 2 open windows here, so I'm gonna just pop up just for a little bit. Did that pop up? There we go. There's my Bronco, my original Bronco. It's not what it looks like now. That's what it looks like now. Did switch out the grill and did a video. That's one of the how-to videos that I have. I did switch out the Big Bend grill for the Black Diamond grill. So here pretty soon I'm going to we got our Roush packages came in, so we'll be upgrading it even more real soon. But make sure you're tagging that at Law McArthur if you got a question for me to answer. Can you put on lift kits on hybrids? We have not checked on that yet. I would assume so. I would assume that it's just like the other front wheel drives. I know the 4x4 is a lot easier to be able to do that on, but I do need to check with Aftermarket on that. So I didn't have a chance to get with them on that. So I'll ask them for next week. So sorry about that. All right. All right, Tom, did I miss your question? Don't want to miss anybody's question there. Oh, I think he got it answered. And then, of course, Tom actually did tag me there, and of course, yeah, thanks for the help on the Maverick. Yours showed up. It is, I think it's, I know that the shipping is set up at least, but hopefully it gets, if it hasn't been gone out yet, hopefully it gets there really soon. Would have loved to drive it out to Las Vegas, but, this time of the year, it gets a little busy there. All right, White Knight said, my Maverick VVR shows built on 1203 and as built and estimated maybe show all modulars active, but also shows chip hold. What chips are they missing? I really don't know what chips. There's so many chips that go onto these trucks that it's hard to tell what chip it's waiting on, whether it's I mean, there's so many electronics on these that it takes so many chips for that, and I'm really not sure what chip it's waiting on. I think it's just waiting on more chips to be able to put in. So, and I know they're trying to get them as fast as possible. So, and like I said, they got a bad batch, so they had to replace those, and then get back up to speed as well. So, have you seen any Maverick shells? We want one. I've seen them on pictures. I haven't seen any here physically yet. I do know that through Ford Accessories, you can order them, and you order them in the color they come in, because a lot of times those will come in and you'll have your body shop paint those. But in this case, a lot of these are going to come in the color that you choose. So you pick your color, and they're going to already be shipped in that color so that they can just be installed. But I have not seen one in person yet. All right. Can you put on lift kits on high? Okay, yeah, I answered that. Oop. Okay, ordered my Maverick last month. Do you think I will get it by 2022 XLT EcoBoost? Now, assuming maybe you meant 2023. Everything that's ordered should be. They actually told us that just be prepped that here probably pretty soon they're gonna close out the EcoBoost models for the 2022 Maverick soon. So their goal is never to get more than what they can produce for that model year. They don't want to have to carry those orders over. Trust me, they did that with the Bronco. They do not want to carry 22 model orders over to 23. They want to try to build everything they can. So I really believe firmly that they're trying to get, that's why they closed off hybrid. And probably in a month, they're going to probably close off EcoBoost so that they can fulfill all the orders before they have to shut it off and transfer over to 23 model year. But if you did order last month, you did get an Eco. It really depends on how many EcoBoosts you have at your dealership. and how many allocations they have, because again they are trying to build about a 50, 40 to 60 right now, but I think in a couple months like March and April they're trying to shift that over to where they're going to have more hybrids than EcoBoost, but they are still going to have EcoBoosts that are going to need to be fulfilled. Like for us, last I checked we had about 30 EcoBoost orders, but if we get like 100 allocations and they're doing 60% EcoBoost, they probably could all get scheduled even if it was just ordered. So it really depends on your allocations at your dealership. Oop. All right, good to know. Ridgeview, thank you for the let me know about the mic. So I actually like the look of it too, so it's kind of cool. So kind of a retro look there, but I do like it because I can adjust everything right here easily. Plug in my headphones and see how the sound looks through the headphones. Real nice and easy. Adrian, is it within reason to reach out to you and ask for the shipping info from the vehicle visibility report, like the train? Yeah, we can do that. I mean, it doesn't take long for us to look that up. Of course, you can just reach out to your salesperson, and any of the managers can look that up pretty easily. All we need is that order number. So get us that order number, and we can look that up pretty easily for you. I have Lonnie. I put my name on a Ford roll-up cover. Can you check on it? That was about 7 months ago. Yeah, I can check on it for you, Wilm, if you want. But I will guarantee you, our aftermarket team does a really good job of putting names on those and storing those, and they don't get touched. So I'm sure your name is going to be on one of those. So I'll make sure though for you. So and then I'll have Lonnie reach out to you and let you know. All right. Miguel, I received an order confirmation from Ford on 11/3/21, but haven't received anything else since then. When should I expect my Maverick to be in production? You ordered an 11/3, really depends on what you ordered. If you ordered a hybrid, you're going to probably wait in a while. If you ordered an EcoBoost, just like I talked about the other person that ordered, it really just depends on allocations and such. So there are people that actually have an order, and I'm one of those that has an order from July that the only thing I've received from Ford so far is just a confirmation email. And so until it gets scheduled, I won't get another email. So you're just going to have to wait until you get scheduled, and Ford will send you out that email. So, Tim, which hitch receiver fit in the Kubbis? Thanks. Oh, yeah, you wanted Tom. You wanted to know if the hitch, the hitch receivers would fit into the Kubbi, and I think it would. It looks. I did a video recently on the first edition and took some pictures on a couple different Mavericks that's on our website, and it looks like that compartment, if you take out the little false bottom, then it looks like that's pretty big that you can put that in there and shouldn't have any issue with it holding in there and being able to hold that weight in there. So you're just going to have to try it out, but I think it'd probably fit in about, most of them will probably fit in there. All right. 2 more minutes, we'll get into the topic of the hour. I think a lot of you are interested to hear what I had to say about that. But, okay, Vicky. Yeah, hey, Vicky, could you email me at the FordVideoGuy at Gmail? I need your address for that notepad. So if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. Somehow it got missed, and that's why I didn't get it sent out. So, Vicky, if you could go ahead and do that for me, I'd appreciate it so that I can make sure that your notepad gets sent out along with Jack's notepad. All right. Okay, Alan, a salesperson tried to get me to cancel my hybrid order and wait until 2023. Is it best just to wait? I think you just keep your order. That's what I would do. I'm not sure why they're wanting to do that. It doesn't make sense. I'm not sure what their thinking is on that and why you would cancel your order. My thinking is that maybe what they're doing is that order wasn't that the order wasn't really submitted correctly, and so they're saying to cancel your order when they really didn't get all the paperwork in for the ROVP, and so they're making that, just saying, hey, just go ahead and let's just cancel your order and wait till 2023. Because right now, if you have an order in there and it was in there before the deadline and they did the ROVP, you're going to get your vehicle sometime between now and the summer. So why would you just not do that instead of waiting till August to go ahead and order, and waiting till production starts in October and not getting one until November? And that's if you get your order in the very first day it opens up. So I'm not sure why you would want to do that. So there is my message there for the topic of the day. So this week I did want to talk about the pricing, the mid-year price change. So the dealers did get an announcement. It did go out there on social media. It was I was busy that day, and so some people, Tommy did a great job of posting out there on social media in different places, and some other people as well. For the price change, and this is a price change for not just the Maverick, but also for the F-150 and the Ranger. But I actually want to read through some of the things. It says dealer invoice changes will be effective December 27th, 2021. So that, of course, that day was yesterday. So I want to kind of read this phrase. It says 2022 model units invoiced prior to December 27th will not be re-invoiced. So when is a vehicle invoiced? It is not invoiced when you order the vehicle. And if you, one of the things you can look at is look at your build sheet. So when you did your order, you look at your order sheet. It actually says this is not an invoice. An invoice is created once a vehicle is being built. So once that vehicle goes to the plant and it's getting released from the plant, that's when that invoice is generated. So more than likely, unless your vehicle is built, that price is going to get changed. So if you have a June order on a hybrid and you have that order in there but it has not been scheduled yet, that price is going to go up. So let's talk about some of these prices on these for the different vehicles. So on the F-150, of course, the increase, the XL went up $350, XLT went up $880, along with the Lariat. Both of those went up. Well, looks like Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, Limited, Raptor, and Tremors all went up $880. The STX Appearance Package price went up $530. So those are the only things that got affected for the F-150. On the Ranger, the price increase Ranger, it says all series prices went up $215. And now for the Maverick. So the Maverick went up. On the XLT went up $80. So now the starting price, I don't know if you saw my thumbnail, I had a little fun with that. I'm putting a line through and putting the new price there, but those will now start at $22,360. And I do have proof of this because I looked at my order, which is dated July 7th, and my price on my order, if I pull it up right now, it starts at $22,360. And I do have the Copilot 360 on my package, and it went up as well. Lariat trim did go up $370, so now that's $25,860. So that's the price on that now, starting price on a Lariat. And then your moonroof went up to $200 to $995, which actually doesn't surprise me. I was astonished when it was priced $800. I thought that was cheap because most of them are usually $1,000. To me, that's a fair price there. And then the Copilot 360 went up $110. So now that is a $650 package. So whereas on mine has XLT went up and the Copilot 360, so mine went up $190 for my package. Lariat Luxury Package price went up $410. So now the Lariat Luxury Package is $3,750. And then the XLT luxury packages, both of them went up $155 to $2,500 even. And then a couple different accessories there. Your roadside assistance kit went up $10, and then the first aid kit went up $10. So those are going to be that way. So just for a lot of you that have those orders in, and you're going to go and say, you're going to try to, I'm sure it's going to happen, probably even happen with us, where people are going to come in and say, nope, you told me this is the price, that's the price I'm paying, and you're going to try to have the dealerships take care of that. And this here is a price increase not by the dealer, it's a price increase by Ford. So that is especially if you have a dealer that says you're going to sell it to you at MSRP, the MSRP went up. The dealerships did not raise the MSRP. So keep that in mind. Be kind. Let's, work through this. We're not happy about it either. I mean, that's not our intention because of that, but that is a price increase that Ford made based on part supply probably and parts cost. Everything seems to be going up right now. So just keep that in mind. Not sure if your dealership wants to do new sheets for you, new order sheets, and just have you, so you have a copy of what the new changes are or not. I haven't actually checked with the general manager to see what we're going to do, if we need to do that or not, but it might not be a bad idea if you want to reach out to them and say, hey, what's my new price? But I kind of gave you those prices and those upgrade charges, so you'll know. Take your MSRP and add these if you have those packages, and you'll know what the extra cost is going to be for you on those. So those are the Lariat Luxury Package. That's that's $780 just between those two if you have both of those, a Lariat and a Lariat Luxury. Well, and then the Copilot's another $110. I don't know if they're going to tack that on as well, because when you get the Lariat Luxury Package, you have to get the Copilot 360. It's not included in that price. So if you get a Lariat Luxury with the Lariat, now you're what, 520 and 370 or almost $900 added to the price. So something to keep in mind there. So Ridgeview did ask, and I did get your email, by the way. So Tim, my daughter and mine are built and will ship next week. Does this mean, well, I'll just have to do is pull your invoice on yours. So that's all we need to do, and then we can see what that price and see if that there was an increase there. So so my Maverick shipped last week. By that, my Maverick would be already invoiced. It should be. You should always check that and check what that looks like, especially those right now that are just getting built like last week. If it was built last week, you should be good. Typically, those invoices go out when they get shipped, I believe. So I'm not sure the exact date of when those are invoiced, but I think it's done like they build it, and then it's kind of like a bill, right? That invoice is a bill to the dealer. So it's like they build it and then they send out the invoice. So since the price changed yesterday, it should be anything built yesterday, I would think, is where the new changes are going to happen. But no, for sure, you're just going to have your dealership print your invoice and see if those numbers changed on there, and it probably will reflect on your window sticker as well. Now, I did pull mine up, on my order in the Webdo, and I noticed mine was different. It had changed, so that probably is changing for everybody else as well. So yeah, when I preview mine has a new price, $22,360, and then it shows the $650 for the Copilot 360. So now mine went up to $24,505. So that's the way that looks, and it does say on there this is not an invoice, so they could make any other changes prior to that. So that's the best way to look at that. So you can always those of you that have not been, if you haven't been scheduled yet, you know it's going to change. It's going to go up. If you've been scheduled but you maybe hasn't been built, there's a likeliness that you're gonna go up as well. But if yours has already been built and it's in process of shipping prior to this week, you're probably good. You're probably going to have the old pricing and not have any issues there. Are there any price increases on the 22 Explorer? No, they only showed us on the trucks there, and they didn't mention any other SUVs. So in fact, it's listed trucks on the sheet that they printed off, and didn't see anything differently there. So I don't think they had any. They might have in the past, because I usually don't look at that in the when it comes up on any sheets. Oh, there we go. But I don't know if there are any previously, but there might have been some price increases in the past, but not recently. Just it looks like just on the trucks it says. So, yep. So, all right. So hopefully, I don't think that's great news for a lot of people. Did the price of the XL go up? No, it did not, Marcos, and the 4K tow package did not go up either. So I was going to actually try to figure out if there's any similarities to some things and see if there's something that was a reason why that price went up, but that's pretty extensive to try to figure that out. But I did notice FX4 package didn't go up, 4K tow package did not go up, first edition package didn't go up. The Copilot 360 moonroof power, the sliding rear window manual one did not go up. The 400 watt outlet, some of those other ones didn't go up. Mainly it's just of course I'm not surprised that the XL didn't go up, because that's their, they would be able to advertise a $20,000 Maverick otherwise, so they kept that price the same. But XLT only going up $80 isn't too bad, but you know, it's just sad that they went up at all. But what's Ford doing? Increasing prices on down payment orders, denying veterans discounts for Vietnam veterans like me. Yeah, I know that on military, a lot of times it's unless they're active military. Sometimes they don't always get the discount. That is, you're right. I mean, it should matter. If you fought for our country, you should get a discount, right? I mean, it shouldn't matter if you're retired or what, or if you're active or not. Either way, you should be getting that, right? So, but that's not my call. It's not the dealer's call. That's through Ford, and yeah. So let them know about it. Let them know that you're upset about it, because that's how they learn, and maybe wake up. So, all right. So if scheduled for build in February 7th, will price increase? I would almost guarantee that, JR. So I bet if you looked at your order right now, because even if it's scheduled, it's still in the webdo, and it'll show you. In fact, let's play around with that. I think I could probably figure out some orders here that have been scheduled, and I can tell you how that would work. So we do have some February 7th builds. So let's take out and go for scheduled to week, and look at some of these orders. So here's one scheduled for February 14th. Oh, that's an XL. That's not going to go up. Let's look at this one. Here's an XLT, February 14th. So let's just kind of look at it. I need a new mouse. Okay. All right, so that one did go up. So, yep, if you're scheduled, yep, it's probably going to go up. So let's see if we can, I don't know if we can get a scheduled to date, because a scheduled to date means it's coming up really quickly. And let's do a sent to plant. That means that should be going like next week, should be getting built like in the next week. So let's look at some of these and see if we can figure out, might be able to figure out something here. So these are sent to plant. So here's one that has a build week of 1/3, or a build date of 1/8. So this one is January 8th is when it's going to be built, and it is a XLT. Price is increased. So that one's not locked in. And this one here is for the 3rd. It is an XL, and it might have a Copilot. Let's look. 4K tow package. Does not have the Copilot, so that one, it's not showing an increase because it's an XL. So we wouldn't really know on that one. Let's see if we can figure something else out. As you can tell, I like to just figure things out this way. So one's called trim line. I think that means that it's getting accessories put on. So let's see if I can do that. This is a lariat trim with a build date of 12/23. Okay, so that means it just got built last week, and price went up. It is $370 more. It is that new price. It's a lariat, so it's priced $25,860. Yep, $25,860. So this one is one that was built last week, and the price did go up. So anyway, so that kind of tells us some things there. So let's look. There's some here that have been released from the plant, but haven't arrived yet. Oh, it won't let me look at that one. Or maybe not. Here, how about produced? Can you look at that? This in here was built the 21st. Price went up on that one too. So, not sure when they're invoiced. Anybody else out there knows that? That'd be great information. But from what I can tell on all the orders that we have in Webdo right now, which are usually vehicles that haven't been, once they've been released, but then I think once they're picked up for transit, then they drop off of the Webdo. So I wouldn't be able to look up any of those. With the VIN number, of course, I can always look up some of those. But anyway, so there we go. So bad news for today. Sorry, folks, but I know you're hoping for better news than that you were going to get locked in, kind of like locking in on that spray and bed liner on the XLT packages, but that is not the case. So did let know. Tim sent them an email. We'll follow up with them and call and let you know. Thank you. Thanks, Lou. So, any other questions? Let's get back into the questions here on that. So, yep, prices have increased. So, that's something that you're going to have to know that, and hopefully you're not. I know it's a frustrating thing, but that is, again, it is a choice by Ford, and probably because of parts, I would assume, on some of those things that they needed to increase their prices on those for some reason. So my order was not scheduled, has not scheduled yet. Was wondering if McArthur can change the spray and bed liner to not be sprayed, as long as it's not included in a package. If it's a standalone spray and bed liner, we can take that off, and then we could do the spray and liner. But if you have the luxury package, that cannot be taken out of the luxury package. All right. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. My dealer hasn't had a word to say since my reservation was placed. Thinking about moving to you, but I'll lose my place. Would it bump? You would just need to check, Chris, and see where on. He's asking if it would bump his place in line on a reservation for an F-150 Lightning, and your reservation number wouldn't actually would just transfer over. You would just have to see where you would fit in our line of reservations to see where you'd be. And we really don't know, because we don't know what your other dealer is getting for allocations based on what we're getting for allocations. Because you may be, let's say, 5 at that dealership, but they're getting, or let's say you're at 10 and they're getting 5 allocations, but you can be at 20 on ours, but we may be getting 50 allocations. So it really just depends on that round. We did have a lot of people, I will tell you this, that reserved the first night. So the first 24 hours, we probably have about 25 reservations in the first 24 hours that those went out. So just to let you know, I reserved in the first 40 minutes. So once that was the reveal was over, I went in and did my reservation. So would the window sticker tell us if the price has changed? It should. Yes, it should. So if you're able to click on that and see your window sticker, you should be able to see that price on there and know whether or not that has changed. I would assume so. I would, of course, need to have some window stickers to pull to know that for sure. Maybe with let's see here. Let's do some researching here. If Ridgeview, you don't mind, would you give me your order number if you're okay with that, and I can look up yours, and let's do some checking on that, because I know yours was built a couple weeks ago. And maybe we could look up yours. I won't show it on the screen or anything, but if you gave me your order number, I could probably look up and see if I can find your window sticker. So we could maybe try that. Otherwise, some of the other ones, I don't know for sure, but we could check on that if you'd be willing to do that. In fact, I might know it off the top of my head. Let me look here. Let me go into vehicle visibility. Oh, there it is. Please go through my order. Maverick Hybrid Lariat Luxury Pack 360. New price, please. Thank you. Okay, Vicky. So if you had, what was that? So you said a Lariat, right? Lariat Luxury Package, Copilot 360. So yeah, that was like the example that I mentioned earlier. So it would be, your 370 plus the Lariat Luxury is 410. So you're 780. So 780 and the Copilot's 110. So 780, that's 880. That'd be 890. So you're about almost $900 more, Vicky, for yours with the Lariat Luxury Package and Copilot 360. So, all right. All right, I'm gonna try to look up here. Let me look up one real quick. I'm curious if we can figure out on whether or not one's showing here on a window sticker. So. $83. All right, let's look up this one here. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. 70. Go back. All right. So there's a VIN number. Let's just look up, see if we can get a VIN number here on this one. Or a window sticker on this one. All right, so Charles, actually looking yours up right now. Yours is an XLT. Looks like it has the old pricing. So I think it was invoiced on 12/8. Ridgeview, do you know what day yours was built? Was it around that time? So his was invoiced about the time I think it was built, if I remember right. I think it was built around that week. So his was invoiced right after it was built. So that gives us some information there. And it looks like you do have the old pricing. So on yours, so it's $22,280 for your XLT. So you should be good there. So all right. So yep, I got the VIN. I had already looked it up, Charles. So anyway, so yep. So yeah, so it looks like probably if it was built prior to, or built last week, then hopefully it was invoiced around that time. So it says, yeah, 17th of December. So I have an invoice date of 12/8 is showing on the invoice. So that's when it was invoiced, was 12/8. So it looks like maybe it's invoiced right before it gets built. So, and maybe for some of you might be good news there. So maybe if yours being built this week, maybe it was invoiced last week, then you should have the old pricing. So that could be, you're just going to have to look and see and how that looks in there and looks at that. So, hey, Tim, hang in there. I can tell your face, you don't like bringing bad news. No, I don't. I don't like bringing bad news. So I was kind of hoping, because I actually ran through this and how that read. A lot of people thought, because I know a lot of people had put in there, hey, get your orders in by December 27th so you can lock in that pricing. And I was reading it and going over it with my general manager, and I'm like, now, am I reading this right? It says units invoiced prior to the 27th. So the vehicle has to be invoiced. When you order it, it's not invoiced yet. So in fact, your order sheets say that on there, that this is not an invoice. That just allows them, if like in this case where there's a lot of people ordered in the summer and it doesn't get produced till fall, if there's some changes in the cost of things, then they want to have that flexibility of being able to raise that price, and that's exactly what they did. So anyway, all right. I mean, if they have a window sticker, will the price go up? They'll have a, yeah, you could actually, I know when you first get scheduled, you get a VIN number, and sometimes you get a window sticker. Then sometimes that number might change from when, it's actually invoiced. So what usually happens, I know this is what happened with my Bronco. When I first got scheduled for a scheduled date, it gave me a VIN number. I was able to click on that VIN number and pull up a window sticker at that time. But then and then shortly after that, about a week later, I couldn't see a window sticker. There was no window sticker available until the week right before it was built. And I think that was the invoice date. So basically they close out the availability to see that window sticker, and then basically they're reprinting it, because that's like a week before or something. It's usually that's probably when they print the invoice with the correct pricing and everything, as well as make those window stickers that go on the vehicles when it goes through the line and finished up that way. So that's when I assume that's done. So it must be like the week prior to, or a couple of days before it's built, is when it's invoiced and that window sticker is printed. So you might look and see if you don't have if you have a build date, and you might see an invoice or a window sticker, that window sticker could change unless your vehicle's already been built. So if it's in transit and you're seeing that window sticker, that should be correct. So whatever that window sticker is showing when it's in transit should be accurate to what your price is going to be. But no guarantee on that until we actually see it. So Tim, appreciate you. An increase is what it is. Yeah, well, luckily, most of them, it's not a significant increase. But if you have an upper trim, Lariat Luxury, those are the big ones. Lariat's 360 or 370. Lariat Luxury package is 410. Most of the other things, it's $100 here. It adds up though. If you have an XLT, and you have an XLT luxury package, and you have a Copilot 360, that's that's $300 right there. So, you know, um, just a little over $300. So it can add up pretty quick. And if you have a moonroof, now you're $500. So there you go. Now now you've increased quite a bit. Just depends on what you have on your order. So like with my order, it was, it was Copilot and the XLT. So I was 190 more. But yeah, so that does make a difference there. So if I call my dealer, will they be able to look it up and see if it was invoiced? They should be able to. They should be able to pull the invoice, and then be able to see that price. So, and then there's an invoice date on there. So sometimes if I have a VIN number, I can pull a window sticker, but not an invoice, because it hasn't been invoiced. But typically they go together. But yeah, if you have a VIN number, then they should be able to look up and see. And what will sometimes happen is if it's not available, you'll get an error on the screen that says this window sticker is not available, or invoice and window sticker should match pretty easily. So on that, so. All right, so let's see. Adrian, confirming that my window sticker for my XLT hybrid is my hybrid in transit to Long McArthur still reflects the original price. Let me look yours up, Adrian. Give me a second. All I need is your order number. There we go. M93M. M93M. This is how fast it is. So if you call your dealer, they want to do it. It only takes a few seconds. All you need is an order number. So I'm punching an order number into the vehicle visibility. Immediately I get a VIN number right there. Like this one says it's in transit. In fact, it says it's in Muncie, Kansas as of the 27th, which they normally update that a lot of times on Sundays when they're Sunday or Monday. This was actually updated twice, Sunday and Monday. So this one says it was on the rail car, came in on the rail car on the 26th, and then on the 27th it was received. So that means it's off the ramp. Now it's getting set up for transport, and says estimated delivery between the 4th and the 10th. Hopefully that's the dates that you have. But now I can just take this VIN number, and then I just go into another Ford website, vehicle locator, where I can actually pull in a window sticker or invoice. So first I'll pull up the invoice, see if it lets me. And it does. So you have the Adrian, you have the first pricing, so $22,280 for your XLT. You didn't add any other packages on your hybrid, so that's going to be the cheapest XLT hybrid you can probably find. And again, I can then pull the window sticker. It's going to actually be the same. Probably don't even need to look it up, but your window stickers. Click on that, and it is showing the same pricing, so $22,280. So you're good, Adrian. So that's and for those of you that have dealers and aren't wanting to do it, that's how quick it is. Once you get in front of a manager with your order number, you saw how fast it was. Once I have the screens open, it does not take long at all, less than 5 minutes or even that. I have guys come in with me all the time. Hey, can you check on my customer's order, what status it's in and such, and then I'll tell them what priority code it is, if it's scheduled or not. Pretty easy to do. It doesn't take that long at all. So. All right, White Knight. I received my window sticker on 11/26, and dealer stated it was invoiced on 11/29. Okay, well, good. Yeah, so they typically are, pretty close there, back-to-back days. We know for sure that they print that window sticker because they're going to put it on your vehicle. So we know that those get printed like when it's going into production and when it's going to. So a lot of times they'll print it like the week, I think a couple days before your vehicle's being built. Because on mine, I got an email like on the Friday before my production date, which is a Tuesday, and that's when I clicked on it, I could pull up the window sticker that day, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then so we know that they probably printed it for the vehicles they're going to be building the next week, and then they of course are slapped on the vehicles, not slapped on, but they're put on the vehicles, and then that's probably also right after that is when they're like the production day is pretty closely when that invoice is printed as well and sent out to the dealers. Like I said, it's like a bill, so it's like the factory, an invoice is, you know, a bill to the dealership of here you go, this is what it cost. So yep, Adrian, you should be here real shortly. Like I said, hopefully next week it'll get here. And a lot of times we found that once it hits Muncie, Kansas, which is I think it's in Kansas City area, some suburb over there or whatever. But we usually once it hits there, usually you can figure about a week from when it hits there. So it just got there this week. And so, you know, more than likely, it really just depends on shipping and transport companies and how many they have. But they might be waiting for another big truckload like the 9 that we've been getting. So some of you saw that on social media. But we're there was 3 days in a row where we got 9 vehicles each day dropped off. So and yeah, I think we already sold 30 this month. So I think we're sitting at 30 Maverick sales for the month, and we have a couple. I think we had about 3 that weren't taken, so that are available. And a couple of those are on the website, as well as the 2 that we got from the region are in transport. I'm not sure when we're going to get those, but they're shown on our website as well as in transit. So. All right. All right. Any other questions for me there? All right. So I'm going to I do have some emails here. So I got a lot of emails, and I do apologize for those of you if you've like reached out or wanting to talk to me, have questions for me. I've gotten a little behind because my photographer was out on vacation, and then she got sick right after that. So I'm going almost 2 weeks of not having a photographer here. So just, you know, I'm having to do some photography as well as try to do my other things. So I haven't been able to get back and reach back to people that have called me. So I apologize for that. If you're needing immediate assistance, please, our BDC, they work real closely with me. So if they can probably help you with a lot of questions. But so I haven't responded to everybody. That's why. So I apologize for that. So let's answer some of these questions though. I'm going to go back. There's a lot in here. Don't know how many of these I can get to, but we'll start with some of the oldest ones. Somebody asked about the Ford Pass rewards. I just came across this video talking about reward points for the Ford Pass app. 2022 Ford Maverick using the Ford Pass to get over $200 off on a Ford tonneau cover. So yes, you can, when you purchase a vehicle, you get rewards points. Their original intent for that was for 2 oil changes, but you can use it for accessories as well. We've had people do that, cash it in for accessories, and usually the value you get is about just over $200. It's 42,000 points. And you can use that towards accessories if you'd like to. Our aftermarket, I think, is getting pretty keen at this, and they're being able to do that without any hiccups there. So, and remember, if you use your Ford Pass credit card, you can earn more. I've probably done an oil change on all of our 4 vehicles at least once or twice now because of the Ford Pass points that I use or that I get with my Ford Pass credit card. So. I enjoy your videos each week. I subscribe and try to like your videos. I had a question about Lightning reservation. My dealership said I was number 10 out of 305 at their dealership. Wow, 305. I asked about dock fees and DMF. They said $4.99 dock and $3.99 tent, nitrogen, etc. I know it's dealer ad on fluff and don't want those options, but they said it's required for all of their vehicles. Another dealership said the same thing, but theirs was more expensive. We're seeing that more and more dealerships adding, saying that, oh, we put 10 on everything, we put spray and liner on everything and everything, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not sure why they do that. Well, I know why, because they want to they figure if they're going to sell vehicles and make less on them, let's make it an aftermarket and make it something they put on. Now, I don't understand if it's on a stock vehicle. We do spray and liners and tent. Our tent guy and our spray and liner guy needs to stay busy, but It's something that, that I see it if it's a vehicle on the lot. That's different. You're buying it with what it has. But when you want to get it, like I've told them a lot. I'm like, I don't want front window tint on my vehicle. I want people to see that I'm driving that vehicle. I don't want the window tint. But some people do. And so, just let the customers choose it, and then they can purchase it if they want to. But I see a lot of dealerships doing that. So you said something in your video about being able to order completely online and then selecting your dealership where they are required to list their fees. This would be a good way around paying those dealer fee add-on fees. Again, that's things you want to ask, just like he asked, for them out there. So he also asked some questions about financing, which I'm not really versed on. We have a finance department. I kind of leave that up to them because they're experts in that. I'm expert just on the product itself, but financing currently available from Mach-E to the Ford Lightning. You were talking about Ford options plan. So on the Mach-E, they don't really have a lease. It's more of a Ford options from what I understand. And so I assume they're going to do the same thing on the Lightning, but I don't know for sure on that. And that's kind of what he was asking there, and I'll reply to him when I get a chance. Any other questions pop up while we're doing that? Sorry if this has already been brought up, but on the Ford Maverick Club forum, Granger Ford offered $3K under MSRP. I called my Ford dealer. They said it's total. They can do it. It's really up to them. I'm not sure why they would do that. It is losing money for them. Their reasoning behind doing that is if they can get more orders, then they'll get more allocations, fulfill the orders they already have, and that's kind of their goal behind that, is to get more orders so they can get more allocations. So I'm just amazed at how many people ordered with us. That wasn't the intent by putting the videos out. I just wanted to educate people. But I was just surprised at how many people. I knew we'd get some, from some out of state, just like we did on Bronco. We got 150 on Bronco. It was kind of the numbers I was thinking. I was really shocked that we have over 500 orders. But we have noticed that we have a lot of allocations. So dealerships that have a lot of allocations will have, or a lot of orders will get a lot of allocations, and that is true. So I think that's what they're going for there. And for them, with me, the videos I think help us. A lot of people want to work with us because that I put the videos out there and know that they're getting, they're getting a vehicle, and that people here know a little bit about, how to get them equipped and how to, build them, like we've talked about here, about how to, like, hey, let's try this and get yours built faster and that kind of thing. And some of that knowledge, a lot of people, that's kind of why we've had a lot of people switch over to us. But for them, going under MSRP is a way that they're able to gain some customers there. And and then there's been a lot of discussion about people pricing over MSRP, or people getting theirs in, and then the dealership upping their price once they've gotten it. So not sure why they're going under MSRP, but they're not the only dealer that's doing it. But so hopefully it works for them. And again, with theirs too, is they're not providing any kind of delivery. They're not providing any kind of savings there of when coming to get the vehicle. So when you figure that in, sometimes it's kind of worth, like for us, going MSRP and then getting the free shipping, that kind of thing. But so that's, not sure how that works, but I don't know if it's necessarily a total. They can do it. There's not. They don't have a lot of markup, so they definitely don't have $3,000 worth of markup. I can tell you that. In fact, a lot of the vehicles we looked up, when I looked at the invoices, only have about $400 of markup from invoice to MSRP. So going $3,000 below MSRP, that's pretty difficult. You have a $20,000 Maverick XL hybrid, and they're selling it for $17,000, $18,000. Yeah, they are losing money. I'm not sure how they're making it up, but. Is there a difference between Ford's the oil weight 20 versus Walmart's full synthetic? Really, it's a brand. Ford likes to use Motorcraft, I believe. I think that's what they're still using. So it's really just a branding. Motorcraft's a really good oil. It just depends on what you get there. There's some good ones at Walmart as well. But otherwise, I think, there are probably some good ones there. So just, whatever works. But I think not necessarily what Ford uses. Again, they like to use Motorcraft parts and oil, I think. Again, that's a department I don't work in much, but I would think that what you get at Walmart, you can get, or your car places, AutoZone and those kind of places. You can get good oil there as well. Is an email to salesman canceling the order all that is required? Email can't. Let me read that again, Jeffrey. Is an email to salesman canceling the order all that is required? If you're wanting your order canceled, then more than likely, depends on if you're doing it with us or with another dealer, but most people are wanting to try to keep most of those. So if you want to cancel, a lot of times they might just keep it, especially if there's no deposit or anything. They may just, and they may not cancel that. So anyway, oh, Jim said Granger is 3,000 below MSRP, not 3K below. Oh, okay. I thought it was 3K. So my fault there. So I did see that post on Maverick Truck Club, but I wasn't sure what that was. But yeah, 3%, even 3% though. That's a pretty good chunk under MSRP. And I know they were going actually below invoice for a while on some of the early orders. It's kind of a special on the early on to get those orders in. So. If anybody has an order with Granger, they could, find that out. But I mean, I don't really like to discuss, what other dealers are doing and such. I like to I like to talk about that. But yeah, I don't know where they're coming from. And we've talked about that in house. I'm like, wow, they're probably getting a lot of orders, but I don't think it's something special on a Maverick that it's something that you necessarily have to do, because they're going to get help, because for every unit you get, and like if we sell a bunch of Mavericks, then it helps with allocations. When you can start doing stock allocations, you're going to get more, so you're going to be able to schedule and to get more stock allocations. So we're gonna get a lot of Mavericks, once they fulfill these orders. 2023, we're probably gonna get a lot of stock allocations because of how many we sold, of 2022. Same way with Bronco, and that Granger was a big Bronco dealership that did a great job in the Bronco community as well, and they did that same thing, and getting a lot of allocations so that you can have more allocations for your orders, but also to get you more stock allocations once those orders get fulfilled, and being a dealership that can continue to get a lot of those in, so they can be on your lot, on your website, so you can sell more of those in the future. Are you familiar with the claim system Johnny mentioned? Oh, I am not. Actually, I thought I browsed through that. I'm not sure. 3K below is yeah, I'm not sure. I think Johnny mentioned it earlier. I did see something about that, and I'm not sure about that, whether or not that can be held or not, because we were looking at that and it looked like to us that the prices were changed. So I think he was talking about going in, and maybe he can mention it in the comments there. But I appreciate Johnny being on the stream. He does a great job of keeping people up to speed on things, and so. I think he was saying that you could file a claim to get the difference on the price change. And that's when I was looking at that, and the heading to this said price protection, and it said 22 models units invoiced prior to December 27th will not be re-invoiced. And then it does have another section that says automatic price protection will be provided on, and it says firm 2022 model fleet, retail, and demonstrator orders signed and dated on or before December 26th and received by Ford Motor Company on or before December 30th. So we kind of thought that might be it, but noticing how those prices have changed on our current orders, I don't think so. And of course, fleet, most of you aren't ordering fleet. Retail, a retail order would be all the orders submitted, and then demonstrators, we're not getting in demonstrators right now, but they're probably talking about Ranger and F-150s there. So I don't know. And they did say orders signed and dated. So I'm not sure if we're able to go in there. I know we don't have we have 2 more days. So maybe if we can price protect those vehicles, we might be able to go in there and do that. if that's the case, I'll try to do a separate video on that and put it out on social media. For that, I'll check more into that. And I mean, the way that reads, it does sound like we should be able to price protect the orders we already have in there, from the way it reads. If that's the case, then we'll try to do that on all of our orders and get those prices protected for you guys. So. And then if so, and I know how to figure out how to do that, I'll again put out a video so that other dealers will know how to do it, or you can let your dealers know how to do that. Of course, we'll have a short window, but I'll investigate that tomorrow and see if that's something that can be done. Okay. All right. Any other questions here, folks? Put Law McArthur in front. Yeah. Put the Law McArthur. I actually have caught a couple that had put me in there. But yeah, if you could put Law McArthur in before, that would be great. Hopefully, pops up nice and orange for me so I can see it. Can you check order J01A? Yeah, let me check that out. Close this one out and that one out. And back to this. J01A. Okay, yours is scheduled to week to December 9th, it says. Well, the last time it was updated was December 9th. So, it's scheduled for February 7th. Okay. So, yeah, yours is going to probably, unless, like we would say, we can price protect it somehow, that price has already probably been changed. So, and yeah, like right now, it does not let me pull that. So, there's no invoice on your order yet. Let's see, who is that? Yeah, JR. Yeah, there's no, yeah, like for my screen is actually showing. Let's see if I can actually show you that. Oh, no, it won't let me show you that. So I can't pop that on there. But yeah, so yeah, that's not, it's not letting me. It basically says we are temporarily unavailable to retrieve an online invoice for this vehicle. So it hasn't been invoiced yet. So according to that, hasn't been invoiced, then that price is gonna go up and get changed. So, all right. All right. Isn't my order a firm retail order, thus price protected? Well, that was my thought too. But again, just like with mine was a retail order, and I noticed the price was changed. So, yeah, and even received by Ford, because it makes it sound like if you order, as long as your order was in before December 27th, and then as long as it sounds like in received by Ford, makes me think that it's the the RLVP paperwork by December 30th, then you should be good. So that was something I noticed too. But that keyword there being invoiced prior to, so automatic price protection will be provided on retail orders signed and dated. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some checking on that, and with that terminology and the way it reads, it really reads like we should be able to price protect those. So I'll do some checking and put out a separate video this in the middle of the week if I find that out. If I find that out tomorrow, I'll do a quick video and explain how to do it if it's possible, and then go ahead and get that sent out for those of you that have orders at other dealers, so you can go into the dealers and get those done before the 30th, because you'll have your orders in already. So that's already done. So I would assume they have to just be by December 30th protected or something. So I'm gonna check into that. So general manager thought that it was going to change prices, but after reading that a little bit more, maybe we can get a hold of Ford and find out. So right now it's really hard because everybody at Ford's on vacation, so I can't get a hold of the brand manager. I can't get a hold of our Ford reps or anything because they're all on vacation. So that was I was going to reach out to them. And I said, well, they're not going to reply because they're on vacation. So I won't get any information right now. So, but maybe he knows something about price protecting those vehicles himself, and we can get that taken care of. So, all right. Any other questions? 818. All right. I'm just going to read Johnny's comment here. So, So yeah, I mean, yeah, the way that reads is if you have your order in by then, makes it sound like that. But I just noticed that the price has changed on all of our orders. So in the order sheet. So, and I don't know if that's just a preview, and so it's not the original order. But the wording of this is not an invoice also bothers me on that, and why that would be worded that way on those orders. So, yep. So, but find out. All right. Any other questions? Whoa. All right. Well, thanks, Johnny, for stepping in and bringing that up, because that was a great point, and I'm going to do some research myself. And if you know some information there and can reach out to me, you have my email address there. Just send it to me so that can definitely help people out in the community. So tag team in there. So thank you. Is it possible to add a front license plate holder to my order, which is scheduled for build? Once it's scheduled, you cannot, but you can get a front license plate after your vehicle comes in. You can always order those through Aftermarket and have it at the dealership, so the dealership can install it once it gets there. So you can do that. Understand why we should drop extras from our factory build due to shortages and have the dealers install them. Why would the dealer have them and not the factory? Because the factory actually is getting those from vendors. So a lot of those accessories are provided to them from vendors, and so vendors are going to make and give them only a certain supply, and so they're also giving the other supply to the dealers and to people that can order them. So that's how that happens. So that's why we're able to get some, because if there are a lot of dealerships out there that don't know they can order some of these parts through and know how to do that through a Ford Accessories instead of Ford parts department. So a lot of dealers don't know that, so probably not readily available. But so that's what's going on. So like a lot of these bed covers are can't remember the company's name now off the top of my head, but they're vendors. So they're providing some to Ford with a nice Ford logo, and then they can also get them to dealers as well. So that's how that's done. And you're right. I mean, they should be able to build all of them the way you want it to be ordered. But if they have a shortage of supply, they're going to pass over your order. That makes sense to me. And just like with my Bronco, I knew that they had a supply issue with the hard tops. So they were making cloth tops. They were making the 4-doors. And, they were having a lot of people that wanted the 2.7 because they felt like your Bronco needed a 2.7. And so, of course, I knew that the 2.3 was going to be sufficient for it. So I went with the 2.3, and lo and behold, I got scheduled above about 75 of the orders that we have here at McArthur. So, right, if you want something ordered the way you want it to, that's fine. Just wait for it. If you're willing to wait for it. Me in particular, I actually didn't settle. But if you're someone that wants a Bronco and then you don't want to wait, I know we have somebody that comes in the stream all the time that he wanted a 2-door, which comes with a hard top, and he wanted I think he wanted Sasquatch or something, and those two things kind of held his order up, and he all these people ordered, back in July of 2020, put in their reservations and flipped their orders in January of 2021, still waiting to get their scheduled. But if you know how to order yours, you can get bumped ahead of them because Ford's building as many as they can do. And if they have a certain number of hardtops to be able to do, but they could still produce more vehicles, then they're going to pull orders that have that. And, if you have orders at your dealership that has those, then you can. So we actually have had two stock Broncos actually show up recently because our region needed some, and none of the other orders we had left in our orders had the configuration they were looking for. So we threw in a couple of 4-door cloth top 2.3s Big Bens, and they got scheduled because they needed to fulfill our allocations, and they couldn't fulfill it with the rest of the orders because they only had enough parts. So anyway, to my Alabama dealer, changed my Lariat hybrid order to EcoBoost without my permission. Oh. Received email from Ford that the build date is February 14th that week. Any advice? I don't want the EcoBoost. Ouch. Gene, man. Yeah, I'd call Ford. I'd call Ford and tell them what happened. Yeah, that's not cool at all. Yeah, call Ford customer service and let them know what happened, and they can look at your order. They should be able to see your original order, hopefully. You know, I mean, if you need to email them your original order and show them this is what I ordered, my dealer changed it, and you can see that. Maybe Ford can do something about it. Yeah. Wow. I'm not sure. I'm sure what they're thinking is that the hybrids aren't getting built for some reason, but they're noticing all their EcoBoosts are getting probably scheduled, so that's why they flipped it and said, okay, this isn't going to get scheduled. But no, you gotta get customer permission. Sometimes it just cringes to hear what some dealers do. I know I'm a dealership, or I work at a dealership, but maybe it's just that we're in the heart of the Kansas here, and we're, you know, tap your shoes twice type mentality and take care of each other. But I don't know. I just can't believe that. Can't believe there's still dealers and salespeople out there that would do that. So anyway. All right. So did the price of the optional spray and liner increase? No, it did not. The luxury package did. It went up $155. So if you have a optional spray and liner did not, but the luxury package did. So both these, which I think is weird, is that the spray and bed liner is actually more expensive than the drop-in liner, but yet those packages are the identical price. Go figure. Anyway, so all right, so 8:25. I'm gonna be shutting her off here pretty soon. I do want to thank a bunch of people that sent some gifts this last week and sent me different things just to wish me a Merry Christmas. I really appreciate all of you out there. You know, sending those, that really means a lot. It really touches my heart. So thank you very much. I got a Starbucks card from somebody. I got some other, of course, Tom sent me some ornaments, and so he gets on the live streams a lot. So those are on the Christmas tree. So that was real special, and some other things that have been sent off. And also don't forget, you know, we have this weekend is going to be, of course, New Year's Eve. So make sure that you march in the New Year. Thank you, Mark, for sending me these glasses here. I got a case of these. So these are going to be fun for the kids to wear New Year's Eve. So wish all of you a great New Year's Eve. Don't forget, have fun that night. Don't drink and drive, and just have a great time and toast in the new year of 2022. A lot of you have Maverick scheduled, some of you not yet, but 2022 ought to be a fun year for a lot of you that have a vehicle on order and get that Maverick in this year, and hopefully it'll be a great year for you. Don't forget, of course, all the different things. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the red subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to smash that like button. How many likes we got here? Let's check this out here. How many likes we got? So make sure you hit that like button, everybody. Appreciate it. And then don't forget to, if you of course not subscribed, if you want to be a member, you can hit the member down there as well, and to get a little more information about that. And don't forget to check back next week. We'll talk more about scheduling. So we'll get some, next week will be a week for those dealers that have some allocations get scheduled. But again, thank you for sitting in the live stream today. Some pretty good discussion here. Hopefully I get some information for you real soon. Again, be looking for a video. Probably won't post a video on if it's not available to change those or lock in or price protect those prices. But if it can be updated and changed, I will make sure I put a video out for everybody so you know how to do that. And if you have an order with McArthur and we figure out how to do that, we'll do it for you. You don't have to worry about that. We'll go through all of our orders. However long it takes tomorrow or the next day to be able to do that, we'll do that. But I do appreciate each and every one of you for coming into the stream. Thank you very much. Don't forget to check back next week. And until then, we'll see you later. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Bye.